Hey guys, this is Daniel Lanford. Today we'll be talking about routing on the P16s, or routing from the X32 to the P16s for the band. So sit back and watch this short video. Okay, so I started us off with a totally clean P16 slate. So the first thing we'll do, of course, is to get to the P16 section. To do that is you go to routing, and then you'll see the tabs up here. See home, out 1 through 16, aux out, and alternate. Alternate is now the correct tab that you want to be in. It used to be P16, and they changed it to alternate to accommodate the IQ and all that stuff. But for us, it's going to be the P16, but it's labeled alternate. So you'll see right here on the left side here, you'll have the 16 channels that the P16 listens to. So if we'll use this encoder, and you can scroll all the way down, you can see over here what the current setting is. And right now it says current setting off. So I'll scroll all the way down, and you can see that they all say off. So right now the console is not sending anything to the P16 systems at all. So if we have whatever we have coming into the board, the band's not going to be hearing anything at all right now. So let's set this whole thing up. To do that, you'll want to have the console already programmed as far as what you're going to have where in the channels. So you want to know where your kick drum is in the console and all that stuff, and preferably named, but you don't have to have them named. You just have to know the channel. So let's get this started. We are going to route the kick drum into channel 1. And to do that, you of course need to know the channel on the console. So right now, the kick drum is in channel 17 on the console. So what we need to do is route, or go to the side over here, go to channel 1, the P16, and make sure it's already there. It's already there now. And then over here is a category section. And over here is the output section, or your assigned section. So this is moderately confusing, but it actually makes things really easy. So if you'll scroll down and go to direct out, you're able to access all of the console channels. So if you'll notice, if I scroll over here, it modifies what's over here, where this is actually a full list of everything that you can route to the P16s. But you'll also notice when I'm moving this one moves up and down too. So really this is just a quick way to get to whatever you need to get to, instead of having to scroll all the way down to the direct outs, which really doesn't take that much time, but they made it a little easier for us. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to go down to the category to direct out, and then like I said, it's in channel 17. So direct out 17, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press down on that 4th encoder. So you'll see now that the current setting is direct out channel 17 in low cut kick drum. So let's go over what this in low cut means. So in the console, one channel can have, you can pull audio from different spots along the signal chain. So you have lots of options over here. This column is called the tap column. And the first one is called NLC, which it pulls the audio right after it comes in to the low cut filter. Don't worry about the plus M for now. So that's the NLC. Pre-EQ is it pulls the audio right before the EQ. Post-EQ is right after the EQ. Pre-fader is right before the fader. Post-fader is right after the fader. So just to let you guys know what that does is, say I have it on N/LC. So whatever I do on the EQ, compression, whatever, to that channel doesn't affect what goes to the P16. So for instance, if I change the volume on the console, or if I change the EQ, compression, gating even, actually, the gating is in there for some reason. I don't know why, but the gating will be active in this. But anyways, for the most part, whatever setting I change on the console is not going to be affecting the signal that's going out when it's at this setting. The only things that are affected, that affect that signal in this setting, is the preamp gain, which is the top, very top left knob. The gate, which I just said, and also the low cut. So those are the only things that if you change them, they'll affect what's going out. So let me talk about post fader. Post fader is after everything. So for instance, if I change an EQ setting on that channel, then it's going to change what's sent out from the console to the musicians on stage. There are times when that's a good thing, but for our case, that can be really distracting for our musicians, and it can cause some issues on stage. So for 90% of the time, we'll be using the NLC, and I'll show you which times we won't, and we'll get to that later. So for now, we have NLC for the tap, for the kick drum. Let's go to the snare, and we're going to be doing the same thing. So channel 2, we want the snare on channel 2 of the P16. And the snare drum happens to be in channel 18 on the console. So again, we'll go down to category. You'll see it's already there, so I don't really need to scroll down. Scroll down 1 on the output signal, and again, press down on the encoder here. We see that the tap is already in NLC, so that's good. We see that this is here, so everything's good here. So now is the time where we're going to change the tap over here. So this one, we're going to be sending out a bus. So which bus I believe is in, yep, bus 3. So this bus, or this channel, we're going to be sending out the toms and the overhead mics. Because we only have 16 channels, we got to put some together. And I think it also makes it easy for the musicians, so they can just turn up one channel and it's good. So we're sending out bus 3 to P16 3. There's a couple of things you need to set up before you do this, though. So let's go over that real quick. The first thing you'll need to do is set the mix bus up for this purpose. So what you'll do is you'll pick the mix bus, you'll name it, and then you'll hit select, and then over here in the config preamp section, you'll go down and it'll say it's channel sends pre-configuration. This is very similar to what it says on the tap over here. This is just telling the console where it's going to grab the audio from for the bus. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit NLC here, and it's going to ask you reconfigure. I may have to zero the channels. If that's necessary, then hit yes. So now this bus is able to do what we need to do with it. So the second thing is to kind of get a rough setting for what we need to send down that bus. So again, we need to send the hi-hat, the high tom, the floor tom, overhead left and overhead right channels down. So we'll just give them a little mix. There we go. So now we have all those 5 channels going down this bus. And or it's going into this bus, and now we need to send this bus down, to P16 channel 3. So let's do that. Back over to routing, Ultranet, scroll down to 03 for the channel. And then instead of direct out in the category, we're going to go to mix bus. So let's go up to mix bus. And like I said, it's mix bus 3. So this is all the same, we're just changing outputs. So press down on the encoder 4. And then for the tap is going to be important on this one. We have options, but I'm going to give you a recommendation. The option is really you can pick any of these. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick post fader on this one, because what this is going to allow me to do, if I hit post fader, now the audio is going to be after this mix bus fader. This mix bus fader, or this whole mix bus, is purely for P16, the P16 system. It's not going to be going out in the house. This mix bus is not going to be going out in the house. As you can see for the the stereo bus light is not lit up and the mono bus light is not lit up. It's actually really important that these lights are not lit up. If they are, whatever you send down this bus is actually going to come out in the house as well, which you don't want. That's just going to be really confusing for you in the future. So if you come in the morning or whenever you're doing sound, just go through all the channels that are being sent, or go through all the mix buses that are being sent down the P16 line, and just make sure that the stereo bus and the mono bus buttons are not lit up. That's going to make your life really easy, and you're going to be able to have a much more coherent mix. So now that we got that covered, what this allows you to do is, just in case your drummer says, or whoever says, that mix is kind of lame, or it needs compression, needs something, you're actually able to give it to them with the mix bus. Just like you're able to adjust a channel, you can go over and adjust the EQ or compression, whatever, for that mix bus, which will then affect what they hear, and doesn't affect what happens in the house. I haven't had to do that yet, but it's always good to set yourself up for success, for just in case whatever comes down the line. So there we go. Channel 3, mix bus 3, and then post fader. And make sure it's unmuted and the channel is up to 0 unity. A lot of times I get the mix is not always right, what I'm sending them. So a lot of times they'll say, okay, I need you to turn up the toms, or whatever, or, this is fighting this in the mix. So if they tell you to turn something up, I would encourage you to ask them to, I would actually turn something down before you turn something up in the mix. So usually what I do is if they need to hear more toms, then I'll actually turn down the cymbals and hi-hat, because what you'll do is you'll just get into a runaway situation where you're turning everything up and nothing sounds good. So that's what I usually do is if they need more of something, I'll take something else out of the mix and then just tell them to turn it up on their P16. So that's a little hint. That one's for free. I'm going to go through the rest of these really quick, so just so you can see what's going on here. So channel 4 is going to be the click, and that is in channel 26. P16 channel 4, console 26. So there we go on that. P16 channel 5 is going to be bass guitar, which is channel 13 on the console. P16 channel 6 is electric guitar 1, which is console channel 11. P16 channel 7 is electric guitar 2, which is console channel 12. P16 channel 8 is acoustic guitar 1, which is console channel 9. P16 channel 9 is acoustic guitar number 2, which is console channel number 10. And P1610 is another mix bus, which is the keys and Mo. We have a little pad that does pads, and it just sets in a key. So it's not super important, so people don't need it to be in a separate channel, so we combine them. So that is going to go into channel 10. The same thing as the drums. Need to set it up the same way. You're just sending different signals down the path. So I'll set that up. If you guys have any questions, you're able to comment on the video here, and someone will answer them. It'll either be me or someone that knows what they're talking about. So channel 11. So again, that was mix bus 2. This is P16 channel 10. Mix bus 2, post fader, and make sure you go in here, select bus 2, go to view, and then hit N/LC. I know that's already done for this channel or this mix bus, so I won't do it now. P16 channel 11 is the Nord, which is console channel 15. So a lot of times when I'm setting up the P16 system and people, or someone wants I need to get a channel down there. I think every time I'm setting up the console, I will get the channels mixed up. I'll mean to send console channel 13 down P16 channel 8, and I'll reverse them or something just because I have a brain fart. So when that happens, just be aware that it's a thing and you can do it. So if something's not right, just make sure you're routing correctly. So a lot of times that happens, and just be aware of it. So over here is the P16 channels, and over here is the console channels. So if you need to send console channel 17 down P16 channel 9, just make sure you're channel 9 over here, 17 over here. You'll get it mixed up, I promise you. But just be aware that that's an issue, because that happens all the time. P16 channel 12 is lead vocal, which is console channel 4. P16 13 is background 1, which is console 5. P16 14 is background 2, which is console 6. P16 15 is the keys vocal, which is console 8. And P16 16 is the talkback. Okay, so this is another good one. This is in the monitor category, and it's the very last one down here. So talkback there. I don't know if you use the talkback. Talkback is unbelievably helpful for me because I hate screaming down there. But it's also important to tell them to turn you up. So the talkback's over here. That we might do another video on the talkback. And the adjustment levels right here. So you'll need to just put a mic in there. Doesn't matter what it is. I think it already has phantom power on it, so you don't even need to adjust that. The level is here, and then your buttons are here. So if we need to do a video on that, just give us a shout out, and we'll do a video on that. So I think we have it all set up. P16s 1 through 16 are all set up in here. So if we had a band in here, they would be able to hear what they needed to hear. I think that's it. One last thing. A lot of times we get the problem where we have maybe a male lead vocal, and he has a deeper voice. A lot of times our sound engineers will turn up the low cut to take out the boominess of the voice, and that works really well for the house, but the problem is that adjusts, again, the low cut is before the tap for the P16, so that's going to affect what he hears in his ear. So I would leave the low cut to taking out the rumble and not really affecting anything of the instrument per se, and use your low shelf filter on the EQ section to adjust for those kind of corrections. That happens all the time, or really every now and then. Just be aware that adjusting the gain, adjusting the low cut frequency, and adjusting the gate are going to affect what's being sent down the P16 line. Especially the gate, again, is going to be another thing where if you have a buzzy electric guitar, try to fix the buzz first before you put a gate on it. But if you need to put a gate on it, do it. Just be aware that when you're gating something, they're going to be hearing it on the or they won't be hearing it on the P16 system. So don't gate something too hard, or when they do swells, it'll cut out sometimes because your gate is not set correctly, and hopefully they'll tell you. But yeah, just something to be aware of. Hope you guys found this video really educational. Again, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you. So thanks for watching. All right.